My name is
the beautiful Alicia Fox.
Spoke to you and said this, Bob, but my name's Billy. It doesn't matter what your name is.
Loaded up with alcohol, more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
He's gonna puke! He's gonna puke! He's gonna puke! He's gonna puke!
3 ain't enough now, I need 5. Welcome in Jim, Ryan, Matt, Tim, and intern Mark.
And after tonight, none of you in this ring will ever be the same again.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 3 Count Thursday, live here on our Facebook page. It is Thursday, January 17th, 2019. We are the podcast of the millennium. A little throwback feel to you on a Thursday night. Just Ryan and I here in studio. Matt will be with us in a little bit. Tim and Mark have the night off, and we have tons to talk about this week, including, boy, Ryan, there is just far too much that is going on, especially since we were off last week. But first, our show is brought to you by Alicia's Pillows and Things. If you want to get some great home decor and much more, some pillows, stools, and much, much more, featuring your favorite sports teams, kids, cartoon characters, movie characters, and more, head over to ngscsports.com. That's our home network, NGSC Sports. Go to ngscsports.com, find the Alicia's Pillows and Things tab on the homepage, and place your order. Let them know that we sent you.
Do it.
It's great stuff. Christmas is over, obviously. We're in January, but you can still get some great, great stuff. And Ryan, as we jump in here, we have a little bonus this week.
You've got mail.
A little bonus.
We got some mail.
We got mail. Before we get to the mail, I just want to wish
Okay.
Betty White a happy birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday, Betty White. 97 years
I'm
young,
assuming
right?
she still has another solid 10 to go,
She's going to outlive us, dude.
but I wanted to at least wish her a happy birthday.
100%. 97, I believe she is this year, right?
Yeah, she's old.
That sound about right?
I don't know.
Scotty in with us, Devin, Frank, and more. If you're following along on the live video, make sure you give it a share. Make sure you give it a like. We'd appreciate that.
You got the new Terran post.
We do.
Redecorate a little bit.
I try to change up the flag situation
like
each and every week.
And you do a good job, Jim.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
I don't know if
that.
we give you enough respect.
Now, of course, last week we apologize again for missing the show. When we do an internet show, it's kind of hard to do it. We have no internet here at Studio L, so
I don't apologize at all.
It is what it is. We're glad to be back. Sophia Ramirez was supposed to join us last week.
I apologize to her.
I do apologize for that. We will reschedule with her. There are website exclusive interviews coming up that are going to be dropping on the website. There's one up now.
I think the kids call it website exclusive out the wazoo.
Wazoo, yes.
That's the going term for it now.
Scotty, that isn't even shitty Comcast. We don't even have Comcast here.
But if we did,
it would be shitty.
It would be shitty.
And 2 more dropping in the coming months. Kaci Lennox will be joining us here tonight, and we have some live guest announcements. At least one coming up for the next couple weeks.
We for sure do.
Don't want to throw that one out there because it's not quite official yet.
No.
But head over to 3countthursday.com. Follow us on all of our social media so you know everything that's going on with guest announcements, upcoming indie shows, and much more.
You know what? I'm going to post that guest announcement on the Patreon page before we go live.
Ooh,
so
that's exciting.
The Patreon subscribers will know at least a day before we post it on here.
Exciting. But 2 indie shows this weekend, both from MCW. Tomorrow night in Joppa, Maryland, it's MCW Winter Blast. And then Saturday night in Hollywood, Maryland, it is MCW Winter Blast. So,
yes, you can go see the Walk of Fame in Hollywood, Maryland.
Yes. Is there one of those there?
Nope.
No. But let's
the big Hollywood sign on the hills of Maryland.
The hills of Maryland.
It's a little hillier
than
Delaware.
A little. Is there a hill in Delaware?
There is a knob in Delaware.
Yes, you go over the knob. I forgot about that already. You got me sidetracked.
Okay,
Jim,
so
you got a
somebody,
package.
one of our great 3CT fans, sent us the full. I think it's Series 4 of the retros. He got a Kevin Owens, a Fight Owens fight. We just set him over there in Tim's spot and Mark's spot.
Merc.
And the Demon Finn Balor. I like these ones have the little kickstandy thing that you can stand them up on. I finally bought the ring, by the way.
Isn't that ring awesome?
The ring is awesome. I haven't set it up yet, though. Scott says have fun with the snow. Yeah, we're supposed to get a little snow here this weekend. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
I like that because it really has that old feel to it.
It does, dude. It absolutely does because he has hair in this one.
Black. It's just a weird look.
Didn't he have his arms painted black? Oh, no, because he wears the sleevey things.
Is it the sleevey? Okay, is that what it? Okay.
Yeah, I guess they just put him up all
That's
the way.
Fine. I'm not upset.
And then a Sami Zayn.
I miss Sami.
So a Zayn, Flair, Owens, and Balor.
They don't have his initial in the boots. That's a little detail
that's
that I
a
don't
bummer.
love. They have the RF on the trunks, but not
they
the
do.
boots.
They
shit.
did get the checkers in Sami Zayn's tights, though.
Okay.
So that's exciting. But yeah, again,
That's
thank
solid.
you for sending us.
Have you gotten any of the other ones? Like I know they have the.
I have
like the Wolfpack Sting.
That's series beyond this.
Okay. This
I
is
have the
4,
first 3 series in full.
Okay.
And now I have this one. We have this one.
The action of this is the snap haluva kick.
The snap haluva kick.
Which his leg goes to like barely his
shin level.
midsection. Yeah.
We'll be on. We'll have Kaci Lennox here in just a little bit, just a moment here coming up. But yeah, I think they've released up to like series 7 and 8 and 9 are yet to come. I am going to collect them all. I think that's what isn't that what the commercials used to say? Collect them all.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
I know there was an Undertaker picture that said "Undertake them all."
Oh, that's right.
In print, like that was the magazine.
You know what I wish
one.
they would do? I wish they would market these more, and they would do the commercials,
the old style,
like they did the old style commercials back in the day.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be awesome.
It would be cool. I mean, is the Undertaker the only one left? Like I know Piper had one. Warrior was in one.
Hogan. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Maybe did Jake the Snake?
Oh, maybe
Snake might have had one, but yeah, there wasn't a lot. But I mean, use superstars now.
No, that's fine.
That are
in
featured,
that style?
but in that
Okay.
style, and even do like a grainy filter, maybe.
Sure.
So it looks like the old style one.
Do kids play with wrestling figures anymore, though?
I have no clue.
Like,
I don't
do
have
kids
children.
play with things or just internets?
I'm not sure. But if you go to if you subscribe and become a patron, you're going to hear a children's song on this week's pre-show, post-show. And
let's look at this. This is for ages 12 and up. What 12-year-old is playing with action figures?
I have no clue.
In 2019.
I have no idea.
Am I wrong?
You're probably right.
Like it's just overweight guys that are buying these
absolutely
to collect them
because they're like we had when we were kids.
Right, because they're
a kid's going to look at that today and be like, "This is stupid."
This is stupid, right?
But you know what's not stupid, Ryan? Our guest.
Obviously not.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm excited to have a guest.
Right,
we haven't had a guest in a couple months.
We haven't had a guest in a year.
Oh my God! I see what you did there.
Get it? Because it's a new year.
It's New Year humor with Jim.
So on that note, let's get to our guest.
I hate you for that.
We are glad to welcome onto the show Kaci Lennox. Kaci, welcome in to 3 Count Thursday. How are you?
Hi. How are you guys?
Good. I'm glad you stayed on the line with my terrible humor.
Yeah, that was awful. Hell, I almost hung up, and I'm sitting next to you.
Yeah, you like I had to like keep him from getting up and leaving the table here. But again, we are glad you can join us, and let's jump right into it here. For those that don't know your background, and you know your history in the business and what kind of got you started, were you a fan of wrestling growing up? Was it something you watched, and if so, was there any superstars that maybe grabbed your attention and influenced you or anything like that?
Yes. So I started watching wrestling. I feel like, give me 1 second. Am I echoing?
You were for a second, but I think you might be okay now.
Okay, cool. So I started watching wrestling when I was 10 years old. So I'm 26 now, so 16 years altogether.
Okay.
And my brother got me into it. I'm from Baltimore, so the arena that we went to back in that time was the First Mariner Bank Arena.
Yes.
Right now it's called, I think, Royal Farms Arena. But we went to our first event. We would catch wrestling on the TV just like everybody else, and then whenever they would come to town, we would go. And then our first event, we had nosebleed seats, and it was the worst. We had to have like binoculars just to see anything because we were so high. Like we were in the nosebleeds, but we were like the top section, the top row of the nosebleeds. So I went to that show, and the thing that really captured my attention was I believe it was like a bikini contest or like a lingerie thing. That was back in the day when it was like Tori Wilson and Dawn Marie and Sable and stuff like that.
Okay.
Kind of the time when they didn't really get to wrestle. They were kind of more just like for show.
Right.
But even if they were just still for show, like they literally got everyone's attention. Like so many fans were just yelling at them and just supporting them. So that really got my attention. But just seeing them in the ring and just how they were muscular still, they were still powerful. They still literally commanded the attention of the entire audience there. That's what made me want to do it, because I was like, dang, these girls are powerful. They like literally just walk out and everybody's attention is on them. So that's why I want to wrestle.
Awesome. So then
I started it.
Then you decide that you want to try your hand in professional wrestling. Can you kind of explain to us what your path was like, making the decision to get into business? How did you choose a trainer? What would you say some of the easiest things, like in the whole learning process of becoming, the early steps of becoming a professional wrestler? What did that look like for you?
So, like, obviously from that point on, from when I was 10 years old and I seen them in the ring, I was like, this is what I'm going to do. Back in Maryland, they had a couple schools, and one of the top promotions in Maryland when I was there, and still to this day, is Maryland Championship Wrestling, so MCW.
Yep.
They kind of partnered with a local school that had just opened up in Maryland. It was called Gilbert's Professional Wrestling Academy. So I chose to go to that school strictly because MCW was joining with them. Gilbert, you know, he's been in WWE, and you know, he had talents at that school that have made a name for themselves in the wrestling scene, and he would bring in people like Blue Meanie, who was such a nice guy, but he would bring in just top talents like that. He would bring in Carlito, just lots of people he would bring in. So I went there for about a year when I turned 18, because in Maryland, or at his school at least, you had to be 18 to be in the ring and to like start training.
Sure.
So I went there when I was 18, literally like the day I turned 18, I was there, and I think it was like a Tuesday or something like that. So that day I went to the school, I got signed up, and I started bumping and rolling and learning all about wrestling. And then I stopped, unfortunately. I think it just, like, work got to me and stuff like that, and just trying to be an adult and pay bills and stuff like that.
Sure.
I did that, and then I moved to Florida.
Okay.
And I originally moved to Florida to go to Tampa to do the FCW beginners course, and then they moved the Performance Center to Orlando, so they got rid of that course. So that kind of sucked.
Yeah, that's bad timing.
Yeah, but during that time, they were doing the Tough Enough, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is a show that, you know, I've watched since I was like little, since I've been like starting watching wrestling, and I was like, I can do this, blah 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 blah. And unfortunately, didn't get picked for this show, but I did get a tryout from my Tough Enough video, and the tryout, it was rough. Like, it was super rough. People always try to prepare for it, and they can tell you everything to do, but once you get there and you're like constantly doing it, it is extremely rough. But after that, my mama wouldn't let me start training until I got an official answer from WWE.
Okay.
But I got my rejection letter. Boo. So I got my rejection letter, and then immediately after that, I started training at Team Vision Dojo, and from there, it's all history.
Awesome. Now, you said we actually were just talking about MCW. They have 2 shows running this weekend. Was that Bruiser that was running the school back then?
No, it was Gilbert and no, but was Bruiser there? Let me think. Oh my goodness, this is so long ago because that was like 8 years ago.
Okay, okay, then probably wouldn't have been. Okay, I just wasn't sure.
No, he wasn't a head trainer. It was definitely Gilbert and like Rich Meyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes
I think
sense.
Bruiser does the one. They still have a school now. It's not Gilbert's. It's officially like ran under MCW. I think Bruiser runs the school there now, though.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I knew he fit in somewhere. That probably sounds more right.
Now, you've worn many hats in the wrestling world, from being a ring announcer to a backstage interviewer to a wrestler. Is there any role in particular that has stood out to you as maybe your favorite, or is there one that has provided any sort of particular challenges to you that you've kind of had to meet head on and tackle those?
Wrestling is obviously my favorite. It's what I've wanted to do for years. You get to go out there, or I get to go out there and just see me. Like, I don't have a character. I just go out and I'm sassy and I smart talk people and all that good fun stuff. And I get to, be powerful and knock people over and beat them up. But the most difficult, I would say, the one that's like most challenging for me is probably a mix of like announcing and interviewing. Not so much the interviewing side. I think it's just more of the announcing, like kind of like freestyling it, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Just being able to like go out there and say whatever's on the top of my head, and then like it makes sense at a wrestling show. Just because, I don't know, I have I have a big personality, but sometimes when I get in front of crowds, it's like, oh no, I just want to be shy and to myself.
No, I mean that makes a lot of sense. We've done a lot of commentary work, and we've done some backstage like interviewing work at companies here in Central PA, and yeah, there's times where no matter how used to it you are, or anything like that there are definitely points where you just kind of lock up, or it's just for whatever reason the creativity that day is not working, or your mind's not working right that day. And yeah, it can be difficult. And when you have to react on the fly to things, it's not always the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we did with MLW, we do like a Facebook Live sometimes, and I feel like I have to go on the fly because it's live, and that it doesn't scare me when it's live because I don't know, I'm ditzy sometimes. I'm smart, but I'm not obviously a genius or anything crazy. But I don't want to go out in front of a crowd and like say something stupid and embarrass myself. So that's a big part of what I would say makes me nervous.
I do that every week here on 3 Count Thursday. So. You'll be in great company if it happens. In our comments section here on our video, Blake Kennedy said nosebleed sections and then some smiley faces. So enjoyed the nosebleed section of the story. So anybody
I
that
hate the
I'm sorry, go ahead.
nosebleeds. Oh my goodness.
They're the worst. And
like the perfect section is definitely like either camera side or non-camera side, but just like those middle seats. I think it's like section at First Mariner Bank. I think it's like section 101 and like, I don't know, 112 or something like that. But those are like the perfect seats ever.
Have you been back?
You get to see everything.
Have you been back there lately?
I haven't been to Baltimore in I want to say just like 3 years. I've been in Florida for 6 years altogether, and we made trips back and forth. So I want to say like 3 or 4 years.
Okay, all right. Because I mean, we've been there, and and I feel like they haven't updated it since you were talking about it. Then the arena. It's just.
I think they changed the name and like put a couple different lights on the outside of the building.
That's all.
But like my dad used to go to hockey games back there in the '60s, and he said feels pretty much the same as it did back then. So
yeah, I doubt that they changed anything.
Not much. So hey, let's talk about your very first match. You're in the ring. How did it go? Like, how were your nerves? Right before the bell rings. Can you step us through like that first match feel for us?
Yes. So my very first match, I was initially supposed to referee. It was a kind of like an open house / free show for just the fans in Florida. It was a Wednesday night, and it was just for some of the students who are at the school to just showcase their talents at like everything they've learned so far. So I was supposed to referee because I was not prepared to wrestle. Like I guess my trainer didn't think I was ready to wrestle at that point, so I just refereed the match. Or like he wasn't giving me clearance to wrestle. Little did I know, he was setting it up so that the tag team match that I was reffing turned into a 6-way match. So, oh my Lord, I feel like I'm going to sound stupid. It was the 2 tag teams, and then myself and my trainer was my partner. Okay. So yeah, 6-way, right?
Yes.
Am I saying that right?
That would be like a kind of like a triple threat tag.
Yes.
Okay.
So he set that up. I was gonna referee, and then the said promoter / booker came out and made this announcement that the match was gonna turn into a 3-way, and the additional tag team was myself and my trainer, and that's how my first match happened. I didn't have time to be nervous. My trainer came in and he was like, "Take your ref shirt off," and boom, it just happened.
Nice. right to the wolves.
Yeah.
Hit the ground running. Like you said, you don't have time. That's the best way. So anybody that follows you,
no, I needed time. I have to get ready.
Well, yeah. But I mean, you were mentally there. Just have to get over the butterflies. So anybody that follows you on social media can see that you're really no stranger to doing photo shoots. Looking back at some of the ones that you've done, is there a particular photo shoot that you recall like being your favorite?
I would say my favorite is the one I did in Louisiana. It was during WrestleMania weekend. So actually this past WrestleMania. It was just, I wanted to do something that was, I don't want to say different because everybody does these regular shoots with graffiti and stuff like that. But I wanted to do a graffiti shoot, and I didn't want to do a graffiti shoot with graffiti that's been in everybody's pictures who take photos in Orlando. Because there's a lot of places to do stuff in Orlando, but for some reason, a lot of people just go to the same location and, get the same backdrop. Sure. But I wanted to have something different, and I wanted to have something that was true to New Orleans. And that had been the second time that I've been to New Orleans, and New Orleans was a special place in my heart just because of how they come together as one. Like they're one family. They're just one big city, and I feel like they all care for each other, even if they don't know who they are from one another. Sure. But I wanted to just get some of that city's like life and their art, and it was very different than what I've seen here in Orlando. So that would be my favorite one. Cool. And then I had like cars honking at me because I was in outfits that were not appropriate for the street. But overall, it was a good shoot. It was one of my favorites.
James, I think you had some of those outfits too.
Yeah, I've had a few of those. The comments from people probably are a little friendlier, maybe towards you, than they are for me. But hey, it is what it is. In the comments here in our live video, Ray asks. He says, during your entrance when you're walking to the ring, the announcer always announces that you're from Baltimore, Maryland. His question is that do you think it hurts your popularity with the Florida residents when most of the audience knows that you train and do shows in Florida, but you're still representing Baltimore?
Good question.
Wait, repeat the question. Does it hurt my fans?
Yeah, I think he's asking that you're still representing Baltimore even though you're down in Florida. Do you think that hurts maybe you're making a connection with the Florida fans? I think maybe is what he's asking.
Oh, well, I would hope it doesn't. I love all my fans. Even it doesn't matter where they're from. If they're from New York, I claim 3 cities. I claim Florida, New York, and Baltimore. Because when I was in Baltimore, I literally went to New York 3 times a month. So I feel like that's a second home to me.
Okay.
And no, I love Baltimore. So sorry if my Florida fans are mad that I don't claim Baltimore or claim Florida, but I love Baltimore. I rep everything Baltimore, like Ravens, Orioles, even though they suck.
I feel your
Jim,
pain.
You're
there.
an Oriole fan.
Yeah, I feel your pain there for sure.
I will stick by my teams and my city through everything, even if they're horrible at times. So no, I really hope that I don't make my Florida fans mad. I still love literally every fan from wherever they are, from Mexico to Canada to Saudi Arabia. I love all my fans.
Yeah,
but I love my Baltimore ones more, obviously.
Absolutely. I mean, I know we have listeners in Ireland. We have listeners across the country. We're from Central PA, but we love people no matter where they're from. So that's definitely
We're from Lancaster, but we're not Amish.
We are not Amish. That is for sure. Now, Kaci, we know that you have a great sense for technical wrestling. You use a lot of holds, a lot of submissions, and you've stated at times that Chris Benoit is a wrestler that you truly loved in the ring. Is he one of the reasons why you have such a strong focus on technical wrestling?
So kind of yes and kind of no. I love technical wrestling because I've seen a lot of British wrestlers do it, and I'm a huge fan of British wrestling. Chris Benoit, he's just a legend in this business. Storylines of William Regal, Kurt Angle, literally everybody. He is what I grew up on. I'm a fan of him. Some people maybe not, but that's why I love technical wrestling, because of British wrestling. So guys like Zack Sabre Jr. Oh, I say that so weird every time. Zack Sabre Jr. Pete Dunne, just literally the WWE UK special that they just had. I have not yet to watch it. But when I do watch it, I'm going to sit back and binge watch it.
Oh my God, Kaci, you're going to love it.
I know. I'm excited for the Tony and Rhea fight. I'm excited for that one.
So good. You're gonna the whole show start to finish. You're gonna love it.
Good. That's where I kind of fell in love more with the technical side of wrestling, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that I get super better at it, because I want to do it a lot in my matches.
Sure.
It's fun and it's not flippy. A lot of people do flippy stuff nowadays, and that's cool. That's their genre. That's what they want to do. But I want to be a girl that can kind of do both. Right. I want to flip and I want to do technical stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, we've been a big proponent here of, flippy wrestling is cool, strong style is cool, hardcore wrestling is cool. Everybody, your wrestling style is going to be cool. There's going to be an audience for it. And
definitely.
You're gonna love that takeover show.
I'm excited.
So being on the East Coast and in Florida in particular, there's really no shortage of wrestling companies around. Have you found that as a really good advantage, to having a couple options within drivable distance to kind of help spread the word of Kaci Lennox?
Yeah, no, it definitely helps. Having so many promotions here in Florida, and literally Georgia's just a few hours away. There's so many places that are not that far. It just helps get exposure out. It helps you to just have more experience overall in the ring. Like, even if you're going to little shows where you just get a handshake and a hot dog, like, you get that in-ring experience, and that is what I feel like that's what I need, and that's what just a lot of people need, because you never stop learning in wrestling. There's always something different that you can try in a match. So definitely having all of these promotions, it definitely does help me get my name out there. Wrestling-wise, announcing-wise, ballet-wise, it just helps me get my name out in so many different ways. It's cool.
Now, you touched on the obviously the UK event and the women's match there, and we've seen obviously such a change from the WWE standpoint as it pertains to women's wrestling over the past few years, and obviously this past Monday, the announcement of the women's tag team championships for the first time.
Yeah.
We've over the last couple of years we've seen Hell in a Cell matches and tables matches and TLC matches and Money in the Bank matches, and obviously there's a lot of buzz that this year we could potentially see the women main event WrestleMania. Like, that remains to be seen. But as a female in the business and somebody that has seen it come from not wrestling, just kind of grab the attention of the audience because they look good, to what we're seeing now, like what does that mean for you as a female in the wrestling business, and everything they've been doing with the WWE?
Oh my goodness. It means seeing women's wrestling and female wrestling coming from what it did to what it is now means everything to me. Like, I just wish that I started at 18, so I did start early, but I wish I would have kept with it, and maybe I could be in, one of those spots with Sasha or Becky or Bailey or Charlotte or Carmella, any of the female talent that is on TV right now. Even back to people like Eve, people like Maria Kanellis. A lot of people give her flack, but a lot of people give her flack because she was in the Divas quote unquote division. But she's been in this business for over a decade, and she's still killing it. So I don't understand why they're giving her all this flack. Like, she came in as this model type on the Diva search, and she's a wrestler. She knows how to wrestle. She knows how to manage somebody. She knows how to get people over. And like, that's what you have to do. That's your job, whether people like her or not. Like, that's what she gets paid to do, and she does it well. So, but yeah, seeing wrestling come from what it was and what it is, and I'm not saying that the females now are any better than the females in the past or anything crazy like that, because each female in wrestling, not even just WWE, each female in wrestling has kind of like laid a stone for where we are now. If it wasn't for the Tori Wilsons and the Dawn Maries and the Sables just getting to do bikini contests and lingerie contests, it wouldn't fuel the girls like Sasha Banks and Charlotte to want to be better and to want to fight for having these main event spots and having these tag team championships and having 2 belts again and being called superstars instead of divas. Like, divas isn't a bad word. It's kind of like, I don't want to say representation. It's I don't know what the word would be, but diva is definitely not a bad word.
Right,
I mean, both of them are fine.
that Divas time frame really fit the business and where it was back in the early 2000s, in that Attitude Era feel. And it fit a role there. Like, that wouldn't work today. But because of that, it's where we're at today. And that step that it allowed the women to take in this business. And it's something that we're, very passionate of female wrestling. We used to, commentate in all female company. We do a Woman of the Week, and it's not like a, hey, look at this attractive woman. It's like, hey, this is a wrestler, and like let's feature her on our Instagram pages. So like, we are definitely all behind women's wrestling, and it's a really good point. And I love that you used Maria Kanellis, because I think everybody looks at her WWE work and like think that's it, but like she was so revolutionary in Ring of Honor and what she did.
Absolutely.
In
Absolutely.
ROH that people forget. I feel like, oh, she's just Mike Bennett's Val. Like there's so much more to Maria Kanellis than just what she's done in the WWE. So I love that you used her as an example.
No, of course. Like I love Maria. She I don't have her on my page anymore, I don't think, but she had said this quote, "Passion is my motivation," and I've like stuck by that for years. So yeah, she's just an amazing performer overall. Like if she wasn't good, do you think she would be in it for 15 years?
Right.
Like, do you think she would be signed by WWE and then go to ROH just to be signed again? Like, Maria is an amazing talent.
Right. Absolutely is. We have a comment here on our comment pages. Ray wants to know, what was the longest time length of the longest match you've had?
The longest time length is 25 minutes.
Okay.
It was with Sophia Castillo.
Wow.
Oh, good match. Absolutely. 25.
Yeah. It was fun. One of the funnest matches. It was kind of like a grudge / bar fight match, so they're always fun.
I love bar fights. Which is a great segue to my next question. Looking back at your career so far, and the number of matches that you've had, is there a particular match that sticks out that you would put number one on like a best of Kaci Lennox reel?
So my grudge match with Sophia would be on that list, but my all-time favorite match is with Kikyo, and it was when I first started. She really just pulled everything out of me.
Awesome.
Like, I felt like everything in that match was perfect, even if it wasn't perfect. I felt like that was my most successful match, and that match made me happiest. So definitely that match. It was ACW, American Combat Wrestling. It was one of their Wednesday shows, but she definitely pushed me to my limits. She made me work as hard as she did. She made me a better wrestler in that match. So for that, I'm very appreciative. And yeah, that's my favorite match with her. I love just getting in there with her, but she lives on the West Coast now, I believe. So
Awesome.
Not too many chances right now.
Yeah, we've asked questions like that before, and it's oftentimes it's like I don't really know what happened, but everything clicked, and it was just everything was clicking. You know, every aspect of the performance that night was top notch, and that's the reason I never thought it would be like that would be my favorite match, but everything just fell into place one night, and it was perfect. So awesome.
Yeah.
All right, as we're nearing the end, probably the favorite question that we always ask our guests here is, if you had to pick one person, past or present, that you could have a dream match against, you know, kind of a fantasy booking scenario. So maybe there's a stipulation on it, maybe it's at a certain arena or a certain event. You know, if you could pick your one dream match in the wrestling business, who would that be against, and what match would that be?
Oh my goodness. There does not even have to be any stipulations. My dream match would be against Eddie Guerrero.
Awesome.
He's my favorite. Like, he's one of my top 5 favorites. He would again bring everything out of me just like Kikyo does. He's a high flyer. He's good with technical wrestling.
Oh.
I would definitely want to wrestle Eddie.
All right, very good. Obviously, one of the best ever to do it.
We've heard that name a lot.
There was some other questions in the comments, and we didn't have a chance to ask all of them. Maybe we'll be able to jump on and answer some of the questions on the Facebook Live video for the people. But as we're wrapping up here with you, just let people know, Kaci, where they can follow you on social media. Maybe some upcoming bookings that you have where people can see you in action, and all of that. So just let people know where they can keep track of your career, and then we'll let you go here tonight.
Yeah, so all of my social media is the same. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and it is Miss Kaci Lennox. So it's MissKaciLennox. So it's the same on all 3 platforms. You can follow me there. You can like all my pages and do all that fancy stuff. And I'll be posting all of my shows on there. All of my merch is on there, all that good stuff. But I will be in Fort Lauderdale this week for Platinum Pro Wrestling. And then I've got some other big shows. I've got Ignite coming up. I have MLW in Philly, which a lot of my friends are coming to. So if you guys don't have your tickets for MLW in Philadelphia, get them now. So MLW in Philly, and then I have Ohio. But I'll be posting all these dates on my Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and hopefully see some of you guys there.
Awesome. Yeah, we will probably should look into that
we need to look into that
MLW in Philly.
show, for sure.
But Kaci, again, thank you so much for joining us here tonight and talking to us for a little bit. We appreciate it, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
It's a great interview, and man, her talking about the Baltimore Arena. That's where King of the Ring 94. It was 94. It was 94. That I was trying to think. Is it 93 was the first one? It's one Brett won, and then 95 was or 94 was in Baltimore the next year. My dad, my brother, and I, some friends of ours went to that. Solid show. But yeah, that arena, not great. Not great.
It's not much great going on with the First Mariner there.
So again,
what's it called now? It's not even First Mariner anymore.
Royal Farms.
Royal Farms. Yeah.
But again, for those that were interacting in the live video, asking questions, we appreciate that. Sorry we couldn't ask all of them with Kaci here tonight. Hopefully she will get a chance to go on and follow up with you on those.
So I believe the MLW show she's talking about is the Super Fight show, and it's the February 2nd.
Oh.
Up in Philly. It's the 2300 Arena. Signed to appear so far is Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr.
That's exciting.
The middleweight champion MJF, who has now recently
he's signed with AEW.
Signed with AEW. Selena De La Renta, Conan, and Jim, probably your favorite, the Hart Foundation.
Oh my God! I need to get some of that Hart Foundation merch. I mean, I got this guy going on.
You got the Brett guy. You've always been a Hart mark.
Brett guy.
So MLW is returning for the first time in 17 years with a fusion taping to the 2300 Arena, and that is Saturday night, February the 2nd. So we'll probably throw a link up somewhere to get tickets. Check out 3countthursday.com.
Yeah,
and we'll throw up a poster.
Yeah, we'll have to get a link up there again. Make sure you're following along with us on all of our social media. We have the Instagram Woman of the Week, and everything for us social media wise is 3Count Thursday. It's same across the board. Number 3. Count Thursday. We got the board in the back here. 3countthursday.com has all the links, has our merch, our What a Maneuver merch. We have 2 designs over there. Hopefully we'll be adding more designs to that here in 2019. We have our Patreon page, which you can get bonus content, pre-show, post-shows. We're here getting ready for the show each and every week. We record a little something. Sometimes it's 4 minutes, sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's a little bit longer. But we have stuff going on there.
Yeah, this week was a little bit shorter.
But
it was rich in content.
It was quality stuff. It was quality stuff. Ryan,
you'll be thinking about it the entire
Tuesday,
night you listen. You'll be thinking about our damn show.
It'll be in your head for a week.
Do
you still do the Tuesday night thing?
Man, I've been really bad with that. I have. There just hasn't been a ton for me to talk about, I feel.
Okay. Okay.
My work schedule changed a bit. So that impacts it a little bit, which sounds stupid, but I will commit to doing a lot more Tuesday shows. And it's just something small.
It's like 2 minutes.
A couple minutes long on a Tuesday. You get to hang out with Ryan on the Patreon page.
And do it while you're sitting on the crapper.
No,
probably not. Don't want to do that.
Yeah, it'd be fine to do that. Oh, I'm not doing it on the crapper. If you want to listen to it on the crapper.
That's what I meant.
I'm not recording shit on the crapper. No.
I mean, you could be recording shit
when I did that?
On the crapper.
I made a funny one.
All right, I think we got Matt.
Oh, that was bad.
It was bad. It was really bad.
I'm sorry, folks.
Matt, are you with us? Matt, save us.
I'm with you.
Raise the cat. Raise the cat.
Thank God. Did they win? Raise the cat?
No, Jim. We're raising the cat, and they fucking lost. Yeah, they won.
Okay, well, I didn't know. I
wouldn't say raise the.
Now you've angered the cat, Ryan.
That happens.
Go
ahead.
I don't know where I was going.
Oh.
Hey, Patreon. Social medias. Make sure you're following them. Buy some merchandise.
We're putting some new stuff on the YouTube channels. You can rewatch the video.
Rewatch the shows
if you want. Sometimes
I want to try and make that page a little more active this year as well.
A lot of fun little things on there. You can go back and some of our old LCW.
Oh yeah, some of the backstage stuff we were talking
Pro
about.
stuff was there. Yeah, you can go back and check on some of those videos.
Also, we have not a what a maneuver deal, a collar and elbow brand deal. 10% off every order at collarandelbowbrand.com using promo code 3count. Scotty says he's watching 60 Days In on A&E and Us.
I don't know what 60 Days In is.
Okay, it's where civilians agree to go into a county prison undercover for 60 days and report back to the warden and all of that about how drugs are getting in and how things are going and how the prison could be run better.
Snitches get stitches sounds like a bad idea.
Dude, it's an intense show to watch. I actually enjoy it a lot. Obviously, I'm not watching it live. Or
Obviously.
am I?
Are you?
No, but it's an intense show. So
have you taken up any new shows coming out of the winter break at all? Or are you just catching back up with your Chicago's and?
Well, there's the Goldberg spinoff, Schooled.
Was that a spinoff from the show The Goldbergs?
Yeah, so the Goldbergs show is set in the 80s. Schooled is one of the characters, a couple of the characters from the Goldbergs set in the same school, but in the 90s.
Nothing to do with Bill Goldberg, though.
Actually, Bill Goldberg has done a few guest spots on the Goldbergs.
Really stupid, hate it.
Including this past week. I thought I was going to have you hooked there for a second.
Nope.
But just nope.
Goldberg's kid with his shirt off? Yes.
Yes.
Not fucking Bill Goldberg. Nope.
All right. Well,
guy with his little moobs. No need for that.
That's about the only new one. Now,
Okay.
The Manifest and Million Little Things.
Manifest was really good this week.
Manifest, that show's getting intense.
show's
Matt,
good.
is there any show that you're newer show that you've latched onto?
I actually do watch Manifest as well. So I am enjoying that. We get into the Netflix shows here and there, so just keep adding them to our list. And then there's the other ones that we've are still stuck on, like Big Bang, The Good Place. New season of True Detective started, so all good things.
Very good, very good. I've watched a couple of stand-up specials recently on Netflix. The Sandler one,
The Sandler one was really
the
good.
Bert Kreischer one.
Where he also takes his shirt off
He takes his shirt off
Goldberg's
a lot, like Goldberg's kid.
Yeah.
Who looks better with their shirt? That's
Goldberg.
a terrible
Well,
question.
Bill does,
That's
actually.
a terrible question. All right.
Is it though?
It could be.
Jim, is it?
We should. Scott says don't do the Bird Box challenge. We should have done that.
I didn't care. I didn't mind the movie. It wasn't bad. I watched it.
I didn't watch it.
I couldn't continue seeing the memes and not watch the movie. Like the guerrilla marketing that took place for that movie
The
worked.
marketing was brilliant. The marketing really was brilliant. You got to hand it.
Matthew, did you watch it?
I did, yeah.
Oh. Was it okay? It was all right?
It was just okay, yeah. I think I likened it to A Quiet Place, but not as good.
Right.
So.
I feel like Dennis Green would sum it up best.
It was what
It
you
is
thought
what
it
I
was.
thought it
Okay.
was, Speaking of show, I've started watching The Office for the first time in
Hold
the
on,
history of
hold
ever.
on. Wait. The guy who for years has refused to watch anything that has been popular because he doesn't want to be like that guy.
Yep.
You're now watching The Office.
I am becoming that guy with The Office. Yeah.
I mean,
And it's great because now I'm realizing and understanding all of the memes and GIFs that we use. 90% of them from The Office.
They really are.
I never knew it.
They really are. I didn't watch it every week. I've watched the show, but I was not an every week Office guy.
Okay. See, I think I caught an episode season 4 midway through the season. I'm like, this show's just not funny. But I had no context to understand the jokes and the characters.
Now you
starting
have
from the beginning,
context.
I have the context, and I'm okay being that guy in this instance. I'm not saying I'm going to
Just
be
this
that guy in the future.
So this isn't 2019 #new Ryan.
I don't like change enough to commit to that, Jim.
Newish Ryan.
New-ish.
Scotty didn't
Ryan.
like The Office. Apparently, he said it's a terrible show.
Well, that's okay.
You're allowed to have that opinion.
Scotty, start from the beginning and watch it. It's great. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. And whoever
Are you liking it more than you liked Parks and Rec?
I enjoyed Parks and Rec more. I feel like I enjoyed Park and Rec more.
I didn't watch either.
Parks and Rec
on a
is really
consistent
fun.
basis, anyway.
But motherfucker, Rashida Jones is in both of them. What the hell?
Scotty says he'd rather have a colonoscopy.
That's fine, Scotty.
Than, that's a good thing to do.
What I don't like is, what's his name's thumb's all fucked up.
Whose thumb? Steve Carell?
Yeah, he's got a fucked up thumb.
Like in
Go ahead,
real
look up the
life, or they
picture.
fucked him?
Well, they don't. I don't think he wore a fake thumb just for the
Could have.
Like his nails all jacked up and everything. It's really gross looking.
Oh, I don't know if I want to
Look
do
it up.
All right, yeah, look up Steve Carell.
It's just weird.
Actually, I have discovered that Letterkenny, the full series is on Hulu.
Oh, that's the Canadian show.
The Canadian show, and the entire series, all 6 seasons, is on Hulu.
Oh,
and I've been watching that. Is this his thumb?
Yeah. Make that shit big. Look at that shit.
I mean,
you just got to keep clicking the picture, I feel.
okay, hold on.
Oh, here we go.
This is great radio, by the way.
This is great radio.
Ew!
What's up with that?
That's a weird thumbnail.
Yeah.
It's a huge but flat.
Right, and it's like he's missing some thumb. I don't know what happened to it.
That's weird. Yeah, Google Steve Carell's thumb and take a look at it. All right, since we weren't live last week, we didn't really get to catch up on all of this All Elite Wrestling news that's been hashed about. So, first off, super exciting, by the way, and announced roster as of now: Cody Rhodes, Young Bucks, Chris Jericho, who he talked about actually on his podcast this week. He talked about how he went from WWE to New Japan and now to the workings of this deal with All Elite Wrestling, which is a 3-year deal. He'll still be able to work New Japan, but that's it. This is the only wrestling that he's going to be doing. Pac, Hangman Page, Joey Janela, Penelope Ford, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, MJF, Britt Baker. They'll also be using talent from China's Oriental Wrestling Entertainment company. So it's, the roster already extremely strong. A lot of big names, a lot of names that we're familiar with. I think that the addition of getting Jericho to sign is big. And from listening to his podcast talking about the deal, he said this is the biggest money deal he's ever signed for wrestling.
I believe
which is fucking bananas. But you know what? I think it's a great thing. He talked about the fact that he wouldn't have signed if there wasn't a significant TV deal in the works. So that obviously hasn't been announced yet, but that's huge. The potential game changing stuff with that. But I mean, it's the buzz around this company is fantastic. I mean, we're obviously still 4.5 months away from the.
Why is that? Why is the buzz that good? Because a company like Ring of Honor regularly featured, I should say, Cody Rhodes and Young Bucks along with their talent, and that was never looked at like, oh, the WWE has some competition now. So they find a money mark down in Jacksonville. They come up with their own name, and All Elite Wrestling, which I hate to say this, isn't that great of a name for a professional wrestling company. All Elite Wrestling. I don't love it.
I think you're going to probably market it more as AEW.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But even that doesn't roll off the tongue all that well.
Like, I just don't know what they are going to offer other than like a TV deal that's not on a Sinclair broadcast.
Right.
And Sinclair has money too. If Sinclair wanted to play the wrestling game, Sinclair could do it.
And I think that's the thing is, for TNA, it was always, they tried to do like the Monday night competition thing, and that didn't work. But for the most part, they were, 4 weeks taped. Ring of Honor is, catch it whenever it airs in your local market, 11 p.m. on a Saturday night. Like, I'm doing other things at 11 p.m. on a Saturday night.
Right. I watch Ring of Honor like DVR. It's set up to record, and I think it's locally. It's like 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Well,
night. It's not a great time,
and it's also not like if you watch a Ring of Honor pay-per-view,
right,
and then you watch the next week's show. It's not
correct.
It's not like it's not the follow up to that pay-per-view.
Correct.
So like I think the buzz about it anyway is this company. This is like their sole focus. It's their and I hate to use the word, but they're all in on wrestling.
I see what you did.
I see what I did there, but you know what I mean. They are setting out to do what they want to do with this company, and this is no disrespect to Cody or the Bucks because they are great, and for those that love the Bucks. I mean, I'm not the biggest Bucks guy, but I mean they are a marketing machine.
Wait till they sign with the E, you'll love them.
Of course I will. No kidding.
It'll be different. In 4 years, when All Elite Wrestling is no more, and the WWE buys the rights to All Elite Wrestling and signs who they want, and all of these guys finish their career in the WWE, everybody will be
I'll
like,
be a total mark.
We've all been worked. And you'll totally be a mark about it.
But I think landing Chris Jericho, I think, and Pac probably as well, I think creates an element that strikes it as different than Ring of Honor and strikes it as and also I think because we don't know. I think that the buzz is we don't know what their TV deal is, when it's going to air, what it's going to be, what network it's going to be on. Speculation is probably more exciting than
the hype machine's working for it.
Absolutely.
Sure. Right.
Absolutely.
I hope it's good for business. Like I really do. I don't see a way that it would be bad for business. This is not going to be a big competition. People are like, this is what's going to run the WWE. Read that roster again.
Right.
And realize there's 10 people on there, and how many times you're going to get tired of seeing that same match.
Well, and
I get it. I know.
Right.
I'm being facetious now.
You are. But that's weird.
Right now.
# new Ryan.
Maybe.
Because usually I'd be the one.
You'd be the one, right.
But no, it's look, and Matt.
And here's the deal. I don't put Pac on any different level than I did Austin Aries when he went to Impact Wrestling. And what bump did that do for Impact? And I'm not saying Jericho's not on the level because that's not what I'm saying.
I think maybe the only difference between with Pac and Austin Aries is the fact that granted he was the cruiserweight champion,
sure,
but he was a champion in the WWE, and he basically went, "No, I'm out."
Okay,
Austin Aries has kind of had a history of kind of bouncing out of companies,
sure, that's fair.
For various reasons, whether it's the rumors of he's hard to work with or he just wants to do his own thing and just going to come and go as he pleases, whatever. Pac was kind of was at the pinnacle of what every wrestler wants to do, and he went
be the 205 Live champion.
You know what I mean? But in the WWE, everybody's goal.
I'm just giving you shit.
Right, is to get to the WWE, and he went, yeah, I'm good. But yeah, no. Here's the thing,
But I think Cody did that. I mean, he was in the WWE. Cody Rhodes had his runs, had the Stardust thing, and said, "Oh, I'm good, and I can do this somewhere else." And I hope they're successful. I really do, Jim. I just don't think this is what's going to put the E out of business.
No, it's not, and I don't think that's what it's meant to do. Like, Matt, what is your level of excitement for AEW? I mean, it's obviously it's something different. I think at times. I think you guys more than me get WWE fatigue. I mean, I
can't believe I sound like you, I feel.
Yeah,
and we haven't even seen one match. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to enjoy it. But realistically, this isn't going to hurt the WWE.
I think it's going to help them, if anything.
They just had a huge UK NXT TakeOver show, which again was top notch. If you didn't catch the interview,
I do need to catch it.
Watch that.
Sounds like it's gonna be a snowy weekend here, so it'd be a great time for me to catch up on that.
Jim, it really would. I mean, I can easily put 2 matches.
Let's call a timeout. Devin sent me this because we were talking about the retro figures because we had mail. There is a retro commercial.
Check out the new WWE retro figures.
This is solid.
Kurt Angle hits the angle slam.
It's Ryder and Hawkins, and it even has like a filter on the camera. Check it out. It was posted by WWE, so you can search WWE Retro Action Figures Vintage Commercial, and it's in that same style. So thank you, Devin.
Why wouldn't they put that on TV?
I don't know. That's what blows me away. Because again, are kids and people really buying?
But no, I feel like the people that are watching like takeovers and pay-per-views, you run that spot.
Right, you should at least put that on the network, if nothing else.
Right.
But yeah, Matt, where's your level of excitement for AEW?
I mean, it's pretty high. I think anytime we can get more wrestling, more options is always going to be a good thing. Because like you said, I do get fatigued with WWE, so it's nice to have another company now that I can kind of jump to just kind of refuel and reinvigorate myself. Because I think I would probably get tired of any company if I only watched that company. So it's nice to have these other options rising up now to give us that sense that like more people are going to be putting in more wrestling, and it doesn't look like this is a company that's going to be like a flash in the pan. It looks like they're in it for the long haul. They've got the finances behind them now, so it's exciting to see what they're going to do with it, and it is good for WWE because people will come back. It's only going to invigorate more interest in just the wrestling industry overall.
Yeah, and I mean, when you sign Chris Jericho to a 3-year deal, and he said that the only thing he'll be able to do in wrestling that's not AEW is some spots at New Japan.
Okay.
So for the next 3 years, Chris Jericho is as of now wrestling property of All Elite Wrestling. So
does that mean we have to take him out of our intro? Because he's no longer an E guy.
Oh, wow.
I didn't
wow,
think of
that's
that. That's tough.
That's a loaded question, man.
It is loaded.
I think he can stay. But he even talked about, because the funny thing is people people noted, because the press conference was the same day as SmackDown was in Jacksonville, and how WWE moved Jericho to the alumni section of the website right away and took him out of the intro to SmackDown right away. And he's like, yeah, Vince knew this was happening. Why wouldn't they move me? When I signed, I'm no longer in the WWE. Why would you promote?
Right, I'm not an active member of that roster, so I go to the alumni section.
The podcast was such a good listen because, and he wasn't being a dick about it, but he kind of took a shot in a way at kind of some of the reaction that some wrestling fans have is, look how heartless at WWE. They took him out of the intro, and he's like, why would I be there? I work for a different company. Why would I be there?
Simple, right?
And and he said their goal is to not compete with the WWE. Their goal is to not, they're not going to get rid of the WWE. The WWE is the top, the peak, the company that's always been there and always will be there. As long as professional wrestling's a thing in the United States and around the world, WWE's not going anywhere. That's not what they're trying to do. They just want to provide something different for people that want to watch something different and get excited about something different and get on board with a new company. And that's what they're trying to do. And again, keep her interacting in the live video. We appreciate it. Sydney says, no more Raw or SmackDown. Time to say goodbye. AEW is taking over. Jericho.
And here's the deal. If AEW catches my eye, I wouldn't mind giving up maybe a SmackDown and supplementing a Tuesday to watch AEW. Well, I would probably still DVR it and consume it. But my live view might go WWE on Monday. If AEW runs Tuesday, I might watch that.
Yeah,
live.
I'm curious to see, and I'm hoping.
And I say live, and I'll put that in. I don't know if it's going to be
right. Yeah, we don't.
That's expensive. That's a real big expense to do live television.
Again, Jericho said this is the most lucrative deal he's ever gotten. So I don't think money's an issue here.
I don't think
I really don't.
Either.
I mean, you're talking about a family that owns a NFL team, owns a European soccer team, I believe. Like, I mean, it's.
I mean, again, I feel like Sinclair also
right.
has money and chooses to film. We're talking 4 to 6 weeks at a clip.
Sure.
Of footage.
Sure,
so
absolutely.
it's going to depend how much these guys are going to run, set up, or wherever. Like, there's a lot to talk about. The WWE is wildly successful because it has TV, because it does pay-per-view well, and because it tours live, and that makes a lot of money for them. Like,
Yeah.
Are we looking at house shows at AE? Like, there's so much unknown about it.
Yeah.
For people to be so excited about it.
Yeah.
And are these people, have they ever gone to a Ring of Honor show? Like, you're so excited about this, but have you ever just checked out Ring of Honor? Like, Ring of Honor does
Have you
amazing
checked
stuff
out
with
your
New
indie
Japan. Have you looked at an
companies?
indie
Like,
show? Right.
You know what I mean?
Next week, we'll probably talk a bit about PPW, who's running a show with Impact Wrestling up in Hazleton.
Hazleton,
Have
PA,
you
a couple
checked out
hours
that
north
show?
of us.
Right, where you have
I'm hoping
Impact stars.
that like the winter weather that's here this weekend is not next weekend.
I'm hoping so,
because
too,
I
'cause
want to
I'm
get up to
going.
that show. I absolutely want to get up to that
Scarlett
show.
Bordeaux's going to be there. I'll go in the snow. Fuck it.
For Scarlett Bordeaux, you'll go in the snow. Frank says Jericho's legacy will be wrestling's true journeyman. He will have worked in ECW, WCW, WWE, New Japan, and All Elite. And he never worked for TNA. He never worked for TNA, but he did have Impact stars on the cruise.
Yeah.
And he actually was fairly close to working with Impact, and he talked about that. Seriously, an awesome
He was
listen.
close? Oh, okay.
He was actually closer than a lot of people thought.
I'd have been fine with a one-off even for Jericho in the Impact. I think that would have done great for them.
I'm surprised that it didn't happen in the build up to the cruise. Kind of to the point you were just talking about, Ryan, is and it's going to tie to some of these updates that we're going to give on some superstars in a little bit. But there was a great tweet I saw today. It said, so basically every dirt sheet is going to report everyone who isn't in the title picture or a champ is looking for their release in the WWE, all for a company that essentially hasn't sold a single ticket to a single show.
Yeah,
seems legit. And
that's
again,
where I feel like I am.
Right, and I truly am excited. So like and it's funny that you're kind of the everybody tap the brakes because I feel like I'm usually that guy.
That's literally where I'm at. Right, like it's
but
going to be fine, folks. Just let's not get your panties in a wad because we haven't heard anything. Like you all are planning on watching the show until it's all in and you have to pay for it, and then nobody wants to watch it, and all of a sudden, hey, do you have a link? Hey, where's that feed?
You guys got them streams? Anybody got them streams?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and again, if you do it with WWE, and I used to do it with the WWE before the network. I don't.
I'm getting upset. I gotta blow my nose.
It's okay. It's all right. Like I didn't. I don't do the new email thing to just get free network subscriptions. Like you could easily work that system.
That's too much work for me.
It is too much work. Just take the 10. Like I don't even feel that money leave the bank account anymore. It's just part. Oh look, this pay period's going to be WWE Network. Put it right there in the checkbook.
I begin every month by taking $10.59 right out of there. I think they bill me like on the 10th, on the 1st every new month.
Yes,
right off the bat, boom, $10.59. Go.
Devin says he watched the AEW press conference.
They had great sparklers there, man. More pyro than the WWE.
That's entirely a sparkler would be more pyro than the WWE. He said he was excited. Some wrestlers are going to go to AEW from the WWE, guys that aren't in the fold. Yeah, we'll touch on some of that in a little bit. And yeah, we'll get to talking about Raw and SmackDown from this week as well.
So I just hopped on Facebook real quick. Frank, I think he checked in with us. Just want to put over, he's got some copies of the very first issue of the PPW magazine. Next week, he's going to reveal who's on the cover. Frank has been a big part of this. The 26th show, these will go on, so they're $10 a piece. He still has the cover blacked out.
That's awesome.
I'm excited to know who it is.
Photographer.
He is a photographer. Frank
when you hear us talk about Frank, and spectacular,
so good
photographer.
So good.
A huge shout out.
He's taken pictures of us and made us look good,
which
is hard.
Good-ish.
Okay.
But again,
Frank has his limits.
Again, you're not working with a lot when you work with us.
He's not a miracle worker.
Right, exactly.
He's good with us.
It's just a camera and lighting and a backdrop, but there's a lot of promo shots that you see and action shots that you see from superstars up and down the East Coast that are Frank Boris pictures. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I'm excited to see. I think that the bigger thing is going to be when this TV deal is announced.
I agree.
I think is really going to be the thing that I don't want to say make or break, but it's gonna. I think that's when you're gonna kind of see that mark of where this company truly is, and
AEW on Destination America.
I don't foresee them ending up on a fishing channel.
What the fuck is Pursuit?
It's a fishing channel.
Is it really? Is it? No, it isn't.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Pursuit's a fishing channel?
The new TNA deal?
No.
Yeah, it's like a fucking fishing channel.
No.
Right. Yes.
Oh my god. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
Pursuit.
Yeah.
Is a oh wow.
Yeah.
No, I mean I feel like the Panda owns that or whoever owns them in Canada. It's not Panda anymore.
I don't know.
Impact. Who owns Impact? It's
Don
Canadian.
Callis.
Don Callis also owns, I think, the channel that it's running on.
I think,
they won't get bumped.
Right. They're not going to lose their TV deal, but I know that.
So AEW has a chance. We can go from like guys, diners, drive-ins, and dives to AEW wrestling to reruns of like Anthony Bourdain.
Pretty much, but it's Pursuit, right?
I think it's Pursuit. Yes. I mean, they're doing the Twitch thing now, which I think is smart for them.
It is, but I don't think that's going to. That's not going to grab a lot of people. I don't think for a wrestling show. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, this is the description. Pursuit Channel is an American television network that airs programming geared to hunting, fishing, shooting, and outdoor recreation.
Screams pro wrestling to me.
It is based in Glenwood, Alabama, and was launched on April 23rd, 2008. This network's been around for almost 11 years.
Man, and you don't know what you're missing.
It is on DirecTV channel 604, which I don't think that's in my channel lineup.
That's in nobody's DirecTV channel lineup.
Unless you have the maximum.
Right, exactly.
The maximum. And then also it's Dish channel 393.
And that one comes in fuzzy for everybody.
Scrambled. I think I saw a leg. I seen a leg.
It's like growing up watching those. Never mind, we won't go there.
When you would watch the wrestling pay-per-views.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, the wrestling pay-per-views. Jason says, "Drive home."
There
safe
was a time.
this evening."
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think the roads are. I think it's
snowy.
Maybe
here.
it's snowing again. I can't see out the windows, but
Can't see past 3 count.
3 count is there. They're so great looking.
They are cute. Sometimes I forget that picture is there, and I come down here and
people are just looking.
Evan Courageous is staring at me. It's unsettling.
Fine. We got to put it behind us one time.
We should
let all the folks stare at Evan Courageous.
We absolutely should.
It's a great compare and contrast between our bodies and theirs.
I think people are looking at Taryn Terrell,
dude.
Good for us, man, for having that hanging there.
Roll Tide.
Anything else? Thoughts on All Elite and this before we jump into this?
It's gonna be huge.
The biggest. Now Devin says it's maybe everybody gets Pursuit. He says he's on the lowest direct TV package and he gets it. So I'll have to look. Maybe I have Pursuit channel and I've just never made it to that point.
I can watch other wrestling. I don't have it. Fuck it.
I can watch fishing or I can do anything else. I think I'll do anything else.
Yeah.
All right. This past week on Raw.
Is that the word? How can you watch somebody fish? Like, and I've seen like early morning Sunday ESPN, like the guys on the boat fishing. Like, tennis is tough to
fair,
watch
they have
sometimes.
Like ESPN
Golf can
2,
be tough to watch.
ESPN2 had like the World Cornhole Championships on this past week.
I feel like that's more exciting than
probably is
fishing.
Now,
like fishing, you're throwing something into water and waiting. I mean, sometimes you might be, just there's not a ton going on. At least cornhole, there's action of corns being holed.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's if you are a fisherman, you get because I know most people do not find golf entertaining to
That's
watch
fair.
on television. I find it extremely entertaining.
I love watching bowling, so I get it.
Okay,
I get
can
it.
See that. And people watch NASCAR.
Right.
It's
People watch golf.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So I mean, to
Now,
each
Matt,
their
out
own.
of those three, golf, bowling, or NASCAR, what are you tuning into? Bird Box
Right.
Challenge.
Yeah, if I had to watch one of the three, I would probably choose golf.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Wow, that's upsetting. I thought it was going to be bowling.
Like I will tune in for like the last day of a major tournament for like the last 30 minutes of it if it's close.
Sure.
Otherwise,
But I feel like that's
Don't
the
really
same thing
care.
with like NASCAR. I think nobody wants to watch NASCAR, but like those last
I'm
two
going to
laps
tune into the last 3 laps
of
of the Daytona
Daytona.
500.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
yeah, I don't even tune in for those laps.
But like, I mean, there's usually a car that flips around, and then they do the Ricky Bobby thing, and the one's upside down, like one's flying through the air, almost hits a pregnant lady smoking a Jax.
Now, Sydney
But
says
I mean,
he'd watch
people
NASCAR.
that tune in to watch like Rex, I think, is even more dark. Like I don't want to tune in to watch someone get injured.
That's true.
I don't think many people have died. I mean,
We were
lately-
literally talking about Daytona.
lately.
Okay, let's throw that in there. Hey, they have done a lot for safety.
Significant. Right.
Sydney says he'd take NASCAR in that group.
I think if you go to a NASCAR race, your opinions would change on NASCAR.
I do want to go to a race. One of these times we need to go down to Dover.
Dover's a bad track to go to, but sure.
So maybe we'll go to another track. Sure. I've heard
Here's the deal.
Pocono's terrible to go to,
Pocono's
too,
even worse because it's big.
Yeah.
If we wanted to go somewhere, we ought to take like a weekend off and go down to Richmond because first of all, it's a night race and you're not cooking in the fucking sun all
Well,
day.
that's true.
And everybody's so drunk by the time the race starts. It's
I
just,
have a friend of mine from work, a couple of guys that would go to Bristol every year for their night race. And they say that's fun as hell to go.
Bristol's fun because it's like a Super
Short
Bowl and you
track.
sit in it,
And
right?
it's
And
the
people are
short
just banging
track.
all the time.
Bang bang. Ralph says he said it's so freaking wrong the way you talked about cornhole championships.
That's fine. That's okay.
That's all right.
That's
It's
all
a
right.
cornhole. All right. This past Monday on Raw, women's tag team titles announced. So it's 3 teams from Raw and 3 teams from SmackDown will compete at the in an elimination chamber match.
Why not?
To determine the first winner. So it seems like these are not going to be brand exclusive titles. It's not going to be the Raw women's tag team titles and the SmackDown women's, which thank God for that.
I don't
'cause
think you can do that.
I don't
right.
think you can either. I'll be really excited to see if it's only like main roster or if, Bayley and Sasha can go defend this at NXT UK takeovers.
I'd love for that to
I
happen.
hope that that's the way it is, that this is a cross brand.
Now I had heard something. I don't know how true it was, but because it was like reshared on social media. But something along the lines of like in the future, maybe I think Triple H had said he doesn't want to use the word like call up anymore, and have all of the brands a little bit like looser that you can go and perform on Raw, but that doesn't necessarily mean you've been called up exclusively to Raw. And then you can like go back, or maybe an established team on Raw could go down to NXT and like
I would love that.
Not rehone their craft, but like let's not call NXT and assume that is your developmental anymore.
And so and
launch
also
that more
kind of
as-
the lines of brand split are a little bit blurred. Is that kind of
I feel like was the general idea of
you,
where
like,
it was
you
at
get the
this
idea
conversation
that
was
like
going.
Finn Balor is primarily going to be on Raw, but every so often he might show up on SmackDown, or
Where he might show up at?
NXT
UK.
Takeover. I did hear about that, which I think that would be awesome. And again, we've said it before that I think,
and we'll say it again.
when Vince McMahon is retired and
dies. I'll translate this for Jim.
There you go. Once Vince McMahon is retired,
dies.
That I think WWE will look a lot different than the product now.
All Elite Wrestling.
So yeah, it's. I like that idea.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant, and I think it can do I look back and think of like what Cesaro did to kind of launch Sami Zayn in NXT. They were talking early NXT.
Oh, sure.
And some of those matches, like it can be something really spectacular if done right.
Like Cesaro Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, didn't that kind of spawn from the fact that Cesaro had kind of gone back
Correct,
to NXT?
Cesaro
They
did
started working there, and
Cesaro did the Real American thing with Zeb, and then after that kind of broke apart with Zeb, he went, I think, back down, and then started feuding with Sami Zayn, which was a fantastic match.
Oh my
Go
God!
back and watch that match.
That's from the first takeover, right?
Yeah. Oh my God,
Unreal,
so good. I just recently watched it again.
Yeah, that is a good one to go back.
But yeah,
to.
like it's just going to be a little bit more liquid.
I like
and
it.
less like, ooh, EC3 got called up, and then you have to wait for EC3 to debut. No, it's like EC3.
And then he
now
just shows
going
up
to-
like narcissist Lex Luger in the back.
in the back. Yeah.
Just staring at himself in the mirror, which I do kind of. I'm fine with it.
People bitched about that.
Of course they did.
Oh, that's the way we're going to introduce EC3.
Like, why does it have to be some grandstanding debut? Like,
Right.
just shows up.
Right.
There he is.
I can't believe we didn't put him in a squash match for his first match.
This week's Raw. Let's finish up the thought on the tag. How great looking are those belts, by the way?
Beautiful.
Best belts on the main roster? Best looking?
You know what? I'm going to say yes, because I don't love the design of these.
Okay.
And I hate like the Coke bottle look of like the Coke bottle caps.
Oh, for the
they're so
men's tag
round.
team
I just
titles?
don't love the round tag
Yeah,
team titles.
I'm not the biggest
This
fan.
is a nice hybrid of everything in between.
Yeah, I like it. They clearly are going to have the side plates.
Correct.
The interchangeable side plates. But yeah, I think a solid look. Matt, do you like the titles?
Yeah, I like the look of them. I mean, it certainly could have done a lot worse. So I think that the ones that they have are really nice.
Are we going to see more team styles being introduced to the WWE Women's Division,
I hope
like
so.
the Iconics? So it's not just all Bayley and
Because
Sasha
they
and Tamina and Nia. Like
the Iconics almost feel out of place.
correct
right
I mean,
now.
Short of that, the Bellas would be the only other ones that I can remember of.
Yeah, I mean, you had Lay Cool, but again, they cut a singles title in half.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't, and I'm not saying I want Lay Cool in 2019, but they would have been perfect for what is happening now because they were a team. So yeah, I would hope that you start to see some defined teams coming out of this.
The horsewomen sort of thing. Like there's group C thing. Okay. Yeah, I hope so too.
Now,
like Dick Devin.
Now this episode of Raw felt, and I don't want to necessarily say Attitude Era but it had it was a weird.
This one felt aggressive.
It did. Well, I mean, you had John Cena say the words ruthless aggression in
That
Vince
popped me
McMahon's
so hard.
face.
I tweeted that. He said ruthless aggression. That's all I said.
Yeah.
Who said it? The people were who's I'm like, oh, John Cena. It wasn't a big deal, but like he
or
said it.
JBL Jr.
Right, yeah.
Like did I send those pictures to our group?
All right, Maggle.
Like they look freakily alike.
Yeah.
He needs to cut the freaking hair. I don't give a shit what movie you're going to be in or how much they're paying you. Cut the hair, get a wig for the movie. I can't.
Jim, I feel like you're saying that because you don't have any hair.
Maybe I am, but John Cena with hair
good.
bugs me out, man. I can't do it. I can't. It's awkward. But anyway,
I can't even.
So you had John Cena literally saying ruthless aggression.
He said the words
in Vince's face. You had a Lashley out of nowhere winning the IC title.
Out of nowhere.
Cena actually putting a guy over. What?
I mean, not only in the match, but then
literally on the mic,
on
like
the
this
mic.
guy's fucking great,
Yes,
basically.
yes.
And you had a near topless woman in the back.
Yeah, and there was randomness too. Like the belt. Let's like not forget like Otis Dozovic.
Right, moment
like,
of bliss, and then here's tag team
like,
titles.
random
and then
things.
Otis comes out.
Right, just randomness.
And then there's EC3 flexing in a mirror in the back.
This one, it felt like, and I hate to use it because it's now a derogatory term in the WWE and like in wrestling, but it felt like Crash TV, something like a Russo would have put together with some things that just didn't fit. But it's like it was refreshing to see that.
Right.
It felt refreshing. It was a fast 3 hours.
Ratings were up. It was a refreshing show.
Ratings don't matter, Jim.
Well, I know they don't matter, but I'm putting that out there because they were up.
You're
They
disgusting.
matter when they work in WWE's favor, Ryan.
See,
Come on.
Matt gets it. Exactly. But yeah, it was very random. Like, and it was such a like, it was a very weird reaction watching people, some of the same people that I've seen talk about wanting the Attitude Era back. Like, that is a blanket statement. I want the Attitude Era back.
Right.
And then you have Alexa Bliss is bareback and she's like covering her boobs up, and they're like, how disgraceful. How could you do that to Alexa Bliss? I'm like, what?
Right.
Like, that was...
Jim's like, show me them titties.
Right?
I'm nothing right.
But how can you ask for the Attitude Era and then get mad?
I mean, we want Attitude Era, but we also like don't want to objectify women. We don't want hardcore matches. No shots to the head, obviously.
Right, no swearing.
No swear. Right.
God, no swearing.
Not in 2019.
No. Really think about how think about how little from the Attitude Era that you could actually do today.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily say it's a bad thing. I'm just stating a statement. Like, think about it.
And let's also be real. The Attitude Era sucked for signs. Like, you ever go to a live event in the Attitude Era? You couldn't see shit. It sucked. Thank God we're
unless
not
you were
there
in
anymore.
the front row, or you were in the nosebleeds because you were at such a high angle you could
look
see over all the
right.
signs. Yeah, go back and watch. At the peak Attitude Era. Sometime
I mean,
in
it was
like a
impressive
98.
how many signs are there.
Oh, it's nuts.
It really was.
It's freaking nuts. But
We went to a pay-per-view in the Attitude Era and brought 4 signs
You
ourselves.
couldn't see a fucking thing.
And we were near the top.
We were in
the front
upper,
row.
we
of
were in
the upper section.
right, and so we could see, but the people behind us couldn't.
They sure as hell could not.
I mean, they couldn't see over our fat asses either.
That's
but,
also true.
But yeah, you
remember what our signs were? I had I know I had a
God.
green RVD sign.
I'm sure I had something to do with Triple H because he was the champion at the
He
time.
was.
Lost it to Goldberg.
Yeah, he did.
Fucking Goldberg. Now, here's a question. Going to tie him back to AEW. There's rumors that Goldberg might be involved with AEW. Did you just write him off then?
Yep.
Like, fuck these guys. I'm out.
What are they going to do next? Bring Hogan in? Let me tell you something, brother.
Well, no, he's signed with the
Did he
WWE
sign
again.
Oh, but then he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
They're going to bring Nicholas in, Ryan.
Nicholas? Oh, man, I would never watch AEW ever.
But what if he goes through the proper training like David Arquette has?
You mean he rolls with Spanky?
Yeah.
I give him a shot.
I mean, that creates winners, dude.
It does. It does. Hashtag Eva Marie inside joke from 5 years ago.
But
She's on Big Brother now.
Who?
Eva Marie.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Don't care at all.
Total
I
Bellas.
haven't watched the show.
She
but
has
I
purple
saw
hair,
she
I
has
believe.
Purple hair now. And,
I saw a picture of purple.
Yeah, I can't bring I've never watched a minute of Big Brother. I don't think I can bring myself to
blows
do
my
it.
mind because you do.
I love reality TV.
Speaking of which, got some Bellas to talk
We
to us.
did get some
That
Bella
was exciting.
love on the timeline.
Yeah,
I blew
we're
our
a
shit up
pretty
for a
big
minute.
deal.
But yeah, Total Bellas is back. I'm loving it. Ms. and Maurice is
You
filming.
know what
for
also
season
blows
2.
my shit up on social media?
Excuse me, Ms. and Mrs.
Larry the fucking keeping the peace blows my shit up because he tags me and everything. And every day I'm like, oh, something popular. Nope. Just Larry the peace.
Just Larry and Mach.
And Match. Larry and Match. So much. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Larry.
What is he tagging you in? Like, is it stuff that would be important to you?
No. I mean, sometimes, sure, but not always.
She looks great, man.
Yeah, she does.
Eva Marie.
She's got the purple hair, purple everything.
All purple doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
Holy shit.
Jesus. Oh yeah, I think I saw the picture.
We're just going to look at her Instagram page now for the rest
red
of the
hair,
show.
black hair, purple hair,
Breathe heavily into the microphone.
blonde hair. I think she has like blonde hair.
It was only posted 6 minutes ago, Jim.
How many likes? In 6 minutes.
2,329.
And we have like 1,000 followers.
Oh shit, blonde.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think
I didn't see the blonde.
she has all sorts of hair colors.
I'll be
But
damned.
overall, Raw better this
Much
week.
better.
Much better.
Like I said, it was
Hopefully-
a fast 3 hours.
SmackDown Live. Okay, now I'm going to point out what was probably the WWE's worst moment of the week.
Let's talk about it.
On SmackDown Live, the Mandy Rose indecent proposal in the hotel. Okay, look.
Let's talk about
the gimmick is whatever it is. You're trying to do the whole affair thing. So you have a cameraman.
But right there, I think it's a tough gimmick that would have been fine in the Attitude Era.
Fine in the Attitude Era.
And it's hard
it feels really weird today.
Yep.
But whatever. I'm not slamming the gimmick. This is what I'm just destroying.
Let's hear it.
So you have Mandy waiting for it's the Jimmy Uso, right?
The one that is married to Naomi.
I believe that's the Jimmy Uso. We'll call him the Jimmy Uso.
Jimmy.
Okay. So you have Mandy waiting for Jimmy in a hotel room. Right. You have cameraman, SmackDown Live, USA broadcast cameraman in hotel room with Mandy Rose waiting for the Jimmy Uso. Jimmy comes in. They're talking back and forth. Mandy's like, it's go time. Takes the robe off. Paparazzi camera guy comes out of the bathroom, snaps a picture, and runs off. And it's like, oh, you got caught. Got caught doing what? You're on TV telling him it's a setup. Like, it was one of the dumbest things.
I mean, that's happened to me, though. Like, in a hotel, I've, taken my shirt or my pants off, and a guy pops out and snaps a picture and runs away.
Right. But you don't have a broadcast camera that you can use that picture. Because her whole premise is I'm going to use the picture to break up your marriage.
Right.
When there's a camera that's literally broadcasting the fact that it's not real.
Right. I get what you're saying. So, realistically, that camera is supposed to be, the fly on the wall. You were supposed to be third person over.
So have it be like GTV.
Correct. Okay, I
You know what I mean? Have it be like a hidden camera. Don't have it be full HD SmackDown broadcast camera guy. Because
Jimmy would have a problem walking in and seeing the cameraman.
Right. If I walk into a hotel room,
with a cameraman and that's a porno. Right. That's what you're walking in on.
If I'm a married guy and I'm going to a hotel room and I see camera guy and hot blonde, I'm like, no.
Was the segment called Indecent Proposal? Did they hype?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
That was just kind of my.
Oh, okay. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was filmed earlier today. Mandy's Indecent Proposal. Okay.
Yeah, no. It was.
I just didn't recall that.
Yeah, it was live.
Okay.
Supposedly
Gotcha.
live because I think she was they were both at SmackDown and then supposedly left, right?
Right. I get you.
It just.
You know what would have been more believable?
What's
if
that?
They said we have recovered this footage of a popular wrestling star at their hotel from Aubrey Rose. Here is the footage that you can see. That would have been more believable.
You know what I mean? Or just have Mandy present the picture to Naomi.
Okay.
And be like, this is what's happening when Jimmy's not here at the arena.
Right.
There you go. You don't need to do the. It was bad.
That's fair.
I
didn't even look at it that way, but I get what you're saying.
It was cringeworthy as hell. Now the show was good overall. That bothered me. While I was watching it.
Do you know what bothers me even more than that?
What's that?
And it's stupid.
Okay.
Andrade. Just calling him Andrade.
Really? You're one of those guys?
That bothers me.
Why?
Andrade.
Why?
Because he's not fucking Cher. That's why.
Yeah, well, neither was Cesaro or Rusev, but it's worked out pretty good.
Andrade. I just don't like it.
I just don't think it's a big deal.
Okay.
I'm on Ryan's side. I think it's dumb. And I didn't like it when they did it with Cesaro either.
What about when they did it with Rusev?
That I don't mind.
But I feel like he came up as Rusev, not Alexander Rusev. I feel like that was from NXT to the main roster change.
That's true.
Whereas Cesaro was definitely Antonio Cesaro for a while and then just went to Cesaro.
Okay.
Also, those are last names.
What if they...
We're not just calling him Antonio. Can you see, Antonio doing his thing? It's just... Maybe it's just how I'm looking at it.
No, I mean...
Well, if they had stopped calling him Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was just Steve.
Well, I mean, Jim Ross did call him Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold.
Steve.
Okay. No, I
think the last name. I don't know. It just seems weird.
If they would call him Almas, would you be better with it? I think Andrade. If you're gonna drop multiple parts to the name and only have
if
it be
they dropped
one,
Andrade and just called him Cien Almas, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay.
Like calling him like Andrade Cien, I don't love, but Cien Almas I think is fine. Like the nickname, last name.
But if they just did Almas, you wouldn't like that.
Like we don't just call you like it wouldn't just be like Big Jim. Like it still had like a bit of your gimmick and then your name.
Okay.
Cien Almas, correct.
But again,
seems, I don't know.
But again, like Almas doesn't just like it's Almas by itself. Any part of the name just by itself.
I just don't love the name right by itself individually.
Andrade, okay,
like
and
Andrade just sounds.
They do
weird.
it all the time. I think it's just dumb. Like they did it with Neville. They did it with Apollo Crews.
Well, and I think Crews went back. I think right. I think they started there. He's back to Apollo.
I feel
Crews
like they're
now.
calling him Apollo Crews again.
And
Neville's a great choice. I didn't even think of that. Like Adrian Neville.
Yeah. But I like
Aaron Neville.
I think it worked for Neville. I think it's worked out well for Cesaro and Rusev. Now, whether or not it sticks here with Andrade Cien Almas will remain to be seen, and maybe that the enough backlash from it will change it back.
Yeah,
I could certainly see. I mean, again, it happened with Apollo Crews. So.
It's just weird that I don't know. It's weird that they do it. I guess
I did see a lot of people commenting on
Even
it.
like go down the women. Like the women, it's weird. Like, well, Bailey's always just been Bailey, but we've never had a last name for Bailey.
I mean, they do call Mandy Rose Mandy a lot, but
Right.
and that's just easy. I mean, I call you Rye a lot
Right,
as opposed to
that's fair.
Ryan. You
Right.
know,
I call you honey. What's the difference?
Jesus Christ.
Because it tastes sweet.
Oh, that's you made it so much worse. Jesus Christ.
Cheese and rice.
But the match, Andrade
match.
Cien Almas versus Rey Mysterio was fantastic.
Good match.
Fantastic match. I know Matt's favorite part of the show was Shane McMahon's birthday party.
I didn't think we were going to touch on that, but that was definitely Matt's favorite.
Absolutely. How could we not touch on it? It's Matt's best moment of January, and we haven't gotten to the Royal Rumble yet.
I'm now glad I didn't watch that.
Raw was significantly better this week.
It was.
It doesn't mean SmackDown was bad, because I would call them both good shows. Raw was significantly gooder, in my opinion.
I agree. Raw definitely greater than SmackDown this week, which you don't get to say a lot.
Nope.
So kudos to WWE there. And then the big thing is there's been a lot of buzz over the last day or so about the Revival and various other superstars. But the big one yesterday, Fightful.com reported that the WWE is fearful that Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder are finishing up with the company after a situation unfolded at Monday Night Raw. They reportedly quit on the spot, but WWE is not releasing them as of right now and are trying to work on something to get them to change their mind. So I don't know what the situation was specifically for this week. Nobody's really commented on that. They did win versus the Lucha House Party. Their booking has not been great. I'm not going to pretend that it has been great since coming up. And again, this kind of ties back, and it's no insult to the Revival, because I think the Revival is great. I think that they are a great tag team. But this is kind of what that All Elite Wrestling thing is going to do. Whenever you see somebody that even somewhat appears unhappy, you're gonna get rumors and buzz and different things like that. So I don't know what the situation was this week, but it's something to watch. I think that AEW would be a great landing spot for them. But it's we'll kind of go one by one here during the week. Like, does this surprise you, or would you be sad to see them go? Would you be happy to see them land in another company?
Yeah, I don't want the Revival to not be doing what they're doing. What was it, a couple weeks ago they put the hashtag FTR on their trunks, which was like the being the Elite, like fuck the Revival.
Oh, okay.
That whole inside, that whole gag, So they put that on their trunks. Here's the deal: you remove All Elite Wrestling, none of this stuff is happening.
Right.
And again, maybe that's because All Elite Wrestling can offer contracts that cannot be offered at Impact or at Ring of Honor or something like that. Maybe I don't know. The next one we're going to probably talk about, because I've heard a couple people. I would believe more than the Revival, but I wouldn't be shocked. Nothing shocks me anymore. It's pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Nothing surprises me with this.
I thought, Matt, any thoughts on the Revival? No? Yes?
There he is.
Nah, not sure.
Okay. And then
Revival.
Today, Pro Wrestling Sheet was reporting that Mike and Maria Kanellis recently asked WWE to be released from their contracts. Apparently, they've been unhappy with the way they've been used in WWE and made the decision a few weeks ago to request their release. Mike Kanellis has also started selling new shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Is he selling Mike Kanellis shirts or Mike Bennett shirts? Do we know what they look like?
Ooh, I don't know. I haven't looked into that.
Because if they're like Mike Bennett shirts, I would definitely much more believe that we're going to see these guys bounce than if he was selling them as Mike Kanellis.
Again, there's
no chance he wrestles Mike Kanellis.
They signed with the WWE in April 2017. They debuted at Money in the Bank that year. Months later, Mike announced that he was battling addiction. Maria announced that she was pregnant. They have not been used much on TV after that until recently resurfacing on 205 Live. According to CageMatch.net, Mike Kanellis wrestled on SmackDown Live a total of 4 times since signing with the WWE in April of 2017. The rest of his appearances were largely relegated to main event and live events. As of today, PW Insider was not able to substantiate any of these stories. But, I mean, here's the thing. It wouldn't surprise me if they were unhappy with their spot. And this is in no way, shape, or form am I being callous or insulting. But you were brought in April of 2017 as like the power couple. And then one half of the power couple was real life pregnant. The other half of the power couple was real life battling a serious problem and has gotten himself clean, gotten himself in much better shape. And both of them, are doing extremely well in life outside of the WWE. So again, absolutely congratulations. And it's awesome stuff for having a baby, and for Mike, successfully battling addiction, and recovering from that. So, but when you have to take that time away, both of them, from the power couple thing, that's from a business standpoint. Like, I can kind of see the WWE's reasoning in a way.
Right.
For not necessarily featuring them.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, and maybe putting them on 205 Live, and this was the beginning of introducing them back into the picture and getting them onto more of a main roster spot. I don't know, but I can't fault them I can't fault Mike and Maria if the reports of them requesting release is true. I can't necessarily fault them, but I also can't necessarily fault the WWE for not featuring them more.
So Maria said something today on Twitter about being excited. Somebody was like, "Why are you so excited? You asked to leave the company?" And she had said, "Everyone thinks they know everything. It's social media, not an autobiography." Later in the day, she said, "Social media fact-checked." She went on some fact-checking for everybody. Mike never went to rehab anywhere. He was on the road with me rehabbing.
Okay.
We were on the house shows. He never took time off to rehab. He worked through this.
Okay.
I worked with the WWE 6 years before I got pregnant.
Okay.
I worked sports entertainment for 14 years before having a baby.
Okay.
Social media fact checked. WWE has been super supportive of me being a mother and a superstar.
Awesome.
So, like, what does that mean? You can read into it, whatever. Like, it could just be like goodwill between the two and still on their way out. The WWE has not used Mike Bennett properly, in my opinion.
No, I mean they're both fantastic. And here's the thing:
There's the spot for Mike Bennett though right now.
Exactly,
that's the problem.
Probably 205 Live.
Probably.
And here's the thing: when the whole power couple thing was like debuted, I loved it. Like I thought it was like it was cheesy, and I loved it. But in the same time, I can see why it might not have landed well with fans in 2018, 2019. Like I feel like that would have been a great gimmick probably in like either 1995 or like I don't know 2008ish, 2005ish.
That's fair.
Like I feel like now people want more.
But I also think
real
a guy taking a woman's name is so 2019.
Well, that's actually kind of accurate as well.
Yeah.
Like,
and that would piss people off. I mean, it's not a Gillette ad, for God's sakes, but that would piss people off. He took her name?
What? Snowflake asshole.
Where's that NASCAR race at?
But yeah, I mean that's a solid point.
I'm just saying.
But again, I like them. I think they're incredible. If they're leaving and if they end up again anywhere else, they'll be successful, and I look forward to it. So, any other thoughts on them, Matt, Ryan?
No, not. I mean, I love that Kaci brought her up, and like I said, like Maria's work, as like the first lady of Ring of Honor, and then some of the stuff that she did was just so good in ROH that. If you don't know that about Maria Kanellis, you're missing out. She's smoking hot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that he's on the right path now, and I can't really say that we'll miss them because we didn't really see them, but I think that they do still have the opportunity to add a lot to a wrestling company. I just don't think WWE is that company.
They had a great theme too, didn't they? Like, what was their?
Oh yeah, it was
their entrance theme.
It was kind of almost like a power ballad.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Maybe we can close the show with that. Can we do that?
I'll have to find it.
I just want to hear what it sounds like because I feel like I remember it, but
let's see,
I'm thinking it, and I can hear like "Power of Love" by like Huey Lewis in the News or whoever sang it, and that's all I can think. And I'm just my brain's just muffing up all over the place. This is not working for me. So, which is also very normal for Ryan at this time on a Thursday night for my brain to just slow down.
It's the end of the week. Another one, and now this one started popping up a little more today. And this came from PW Insider's Mike Johnson today. There's been a lot of talk in the last week that Dolph Ziggler is done with the WWE after turning down an offer to become a producer. His last TV appearance was a beatdown he took in a steel cage on Raw against Drew McIntyre last month. He has removed the Dolph Ziggler name from his social media. Oh, we're right there. And lock it up. You know who else doesn't, like Nia Jax?
There's a lot of
there's a lot of WWE superstars.
I think
that don't
Lexi
have it.
Kaufman, I
yes,
believe.
Yes, the Lexi Kaufman.
Yeah, so
yeah, people read way too much into social media name.
Much.
And is embarking on a comedy tour soon. He has not been on the road for WWE in recent weeks after completion of the Holiday House Show tour. As of today, sources claim he remains under WWE deal, but others have been pointing to January 31st as an exit date. Whether that turns out to be the case, we will see. When asked about his deal back in August, Ziggler said, "I guess you have to see Sunday or Monday, but I've also heard that his deal is coming up." So I have no idea. There's nothing really concrete there.
But let's say there is. That would remove one upper mid-card star.
Sure.
There are 5 people to take that spot in NXT or now currently in the mid-card on the main roster. That does no harm, in my opinion, if Dolph Ziggler decides to bounce.
No, and
again, that would be good for AEW to get a talent of that caliber.
Yeah, and that would also be good for other talents in the WWE. That would open up a spot like that.
Exactly.
And here's the thing, like Dolph Ziggler, when he wants to be great, can be really, really great.
Sure.
But there has also been points where Dolph Ziggler looks like he's just mailing it in.
But wasn't Dolph leaving right after
like a year ago.
Survivor Series? Wasn't Dolph leaving right after SummerSlam?
He's been leaving a lot.
Like Dolph, this seems like because this rumor has happened every time something comes up or one of the big 4 pay-per-views comes up, and then he comes back with like a slightly different entrance theme, and you're like, okay, all right, I guess Dolph is. Oh, you know what? We just needed a little bit of time off of him, Dolph, and I'm back into Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah,
he's just too much all the time, so I don't mind these little gaps of Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, that's fine. And you know, if he's gone and he lands in AEW or Ring of Honor or New Japan or wherever, or if he just doesn't wrestle anymore, like there's always that possibility too.
Sure.
Like just because somebody's leaving doesn't. Now it's going to become a. I think so and so's leaving because they're going to AEW. No, maybe they're just leaving because they're done wrestling.
Right.
Like that's always a possibility. Again, I mean,
I just feel like this is an easy thing. Like, let's take somebody like Ty Dillinger, and you can start a Ty Dillinger's not going to be with the WWE rumor because we haven't seen him on TV for a while.
Right. No, yeah.
Dillinger's unhappy, looking to go to AEW. Well,
No.
You don't know that. It's just clicky bait.
But
time.
Matt, you've been a Ziggler guy. Is it would you? I mean, would you rather see him stay in WWE or go to AEW or somewhere else?
I mean, I don't have any complaints with the way he's really been used in WWE, but I think that if he went to another company like an AEW or like an Impact, I think that he would do just fine there as well. I think Dolph's always been kind of that consistent guy in WWE, so I think it would be kind of a loss that you don't really think would be big, but then when you see him go and do huge things on another roster, kind of like Cody is, kind of like Drew McIntyre did, I think you would say like, wow, WWE really didn't push this guy as high as they could have.
Sure.
Drew McIntyre is a great example, Matt, that somebody that left came back better than when he left, from taking his Drew McIntyre gimmick to Drew Galloway in Impact Wrestling and becoming a different star to come back with an elevated status.
Sure.
Great example.
I don't know Dolph Ziggler's age offhand. I feel like he's probably on the wrong side of 30.
I feel like that's probably right.
But like I don't know that, and I'm not saying that if he leaves WWE he can't ever come back, but I don't know that he could necessarily have like what McIntyre has done, just because of age and because of where Ziggler's career looked like it was going at one point, and then he had the unfortunate injury when it derailed the World Heavyweight title run. But
how old do you think Dolph Ziggler is?
I'm gonna say 30.
This is tough.
35.
Matthew, do you have a guess of how old is Dolph Ziggler?
That was actually going to be my exact guess, so closest without going over.
Sure.
I will then go 36.
I think you guys are very close, but I think you forgot like what he was doing with the Spirit Squad and how old and long ago that really was. He's 38.
Wow. So
yeah,
Matt,
definitely the wrong
gets
side of 30.
Yeah, definitely on the wrong side of 30.
Nicky!
This I try to forget most things Spirit Squad. This is the Kanellis theme.
Oh yes, this was.
It's so good.
Wow, that's great.
It's solid, man.
That's so fucking good.
That's
Was that CFO? Is that who
might
did
be.
that? I'm just
sure.
curious.
I'm not sure. It doesn't say
I'll
here.
have to look that up because that's fantastic.
But now here's what. Now I assume this is some guy doing Austin's voice, but it says this is Stone Cold Steve Austin singing their theme.
Without playing his beautiful new entrance music, I guess it's all up to good old Stone Cold. Here's to the greatest love I've ever known. I'm burning up in your love. What what burning up in your love, your love. What burning up in your love, what burning up inside your love.
How can we do another?
That made me emotional. Stone Cold's gotta go. I got something.
I'm so fucking happy that
so
I pulled
good.
that up.
Let's close the show. Fuck it, we're done. We got nothing. We can't top that.
Yeah, let's.
That's so good. Find out who did that. Let's get them on the show, Matt.
All right, let's
Just to at least praise them.
I'll work on that.
Matt, who's? Yeah, I literally have nothing else. Matt, who's the woman of the week this week?
Woman of the week this week is going to be Rosaria Elsa. She is a backstage interviewer with Maryland Championship Wrestling. I think one of the companies that the three of us, for Tim, I don't really know Tim's views on it, but we really pound the drum for that company.
Absolutely.
One of the pillars of excellence in indie wrestling, and she does a fantastic job as their backstage interviewer. So in this whole spirit of supporting women's wrestling, we want to make sure that we focus on people that aren't actually, wrestlers, because there's a lot of important jobs in the wrestling industry, backstage interviewer being one of them. So give her a follow. You can find her on Instagram at Rosaria with 2 A's at the end and then Elsa.
All right, and where can people follow you on Twitter, Matt?
You can follow me on Twitter. It's at 3CT, the letter A, Philly as in Philadelphia, and the number 8, so 3CT affiliate. And I promise not to tweet anything about Major League Baseball free agency ever. I promise.
Beautiful. All right, Matt. We'll talk to you next week, buddy.
Yep. Have a good one, guys.
All right,
Take
you
it easy,
too.
Matt.
Holy crap, that
was so good, man.
That was so good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do.
The great thing is, we're going to stop this show and we're gonna listen to it again. I know we're going.
Absolutely, we absolutely
as
are.
soon as we hit
I'm
the stop
going
button.
to try and
That's so funny.
even just to have that guy on as a spot guest as Stone Cold.
That'd be so funny
from time to time,
right?
Because that's fucking gold.
Yeah, it's so
that
good.
was so, and that's a good Stone Cold.
What?
What?
Did you ever watch Stone Cold ET?
Stone Cold ET.
I'll show this to you after the show. Follow me. It's RYN Eagle. Follow the show. Make sure you're doing that. It's always the number 3 count Thursday.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, our home network is NGSC Sports. Go to ngscsports.com and check out all the shows and all the content over there. We also have the NGSC Sports sponsor and sponsor this show, Alicia's Pillows and Things. You'll be able to find home decor at prices you will not be able to resist. You'll find pillows, stools, and full body and neck pillows as well, featuring sports teams, cartoon characters, movie characters, and much more. Log on to ngscsports.com. Find the Alicia's Pillows and Things tab on the homepage and place your order. Again, head over to 3countthursday.com and find all of our social media, our merchandise, our Patreon, and much, much more. Until next week, guys, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the pin.